Hi, guys. Good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscription. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is intended for everybody who sees it when they see it. It is originally created for Thursday, the 3rd of March. But if you're seeing it on a date that is different than that date, that's okay. If the message still makes sense, take it. It's the message rather than the date. For those of you that follow along regularly, great. It's just a continuation of the readings that we do daily with the underpinning energy from the Sunday reading underpinning it. So if you're interested in cards that I reference from the Sunday reading, for those of you that are new, you can look in the lower left-hand corner. The video that pops up there at the end of this video is the Sunday video that I am referencing, right? And we had some interesting cards in the Sunday video. So you may want to reference it if you are following along. And if not, that's okay too. Again, for new viewers, please check out the drop-down menu on any of the daily videos. In there is all sorts of information as to what decks I'm currently using, how to purchase those decks through Amazon, which I get a small percentage of the sale as an Amazon associate. I'm not promoting the decks in that way, but just making you aware. Also, things I want you to think about when utilizing the deck is or the reading itself that I'm giving you. I want the reading to support you and validate you in your own intuition and in your own thinking or thoughts, ideas about what's going on in your life, rather than making the decision for you. I'm not here to take away anybody's free will. If you're interested in a private reading, which would be more specific to your particular situation, I am available for those. And that's all reachable through my social media platforms. So you can follow me on Instagram, or you can follow me on my Facebook business page and message me at either of those places, and we can arrange a private reading. They're pretty easily done. So, beyond that, a couple other things I just want to say, like astrologically. I know it's a little bit funny. I didn't notice this yesterday, but we're in Pisces season, right? Which means the sun is in Pisces, right? But the moon also, the new moon, which is it tonight? It's tonight. No. Yes, it is tonight because I filmed these a day early. So it is tonight technically, but you'll be seeing this a day later. But there's still that new moon energy floating around for a few days pre and post the moon, right? We start to pick up on the energy, then the new moon comes in, and then it sort of slowly fades out over the next couple of days. So new moons are all about creation. That moon is also in the sign of Pisces. Jupiter right now is in the sign of Pisces. Neptune, I believe, is it Neptune or Uranus? One of the two is in the sign of Pisces. I believe it's Neptune because it's also the ruler of Pisces. So a lot of stuff is in this dreamer sign of creation, dreaming, believing, right? In what is going on around us. I feel like there's an awesome opportunity here for us if we want, especially during this new moon period, to really open up our minds, our hearts, our souls to what is it that we want, and then to allow ourselves to begin to create that stuff, to begin to sort of set our soul towards that goal and really believe that it's possible, because the phrase for Pisces is I believe. And that we do tend to be magical thinkers, right? We think outside of the box. We are called the dreamers, but you know, the realities that we live in, or the realities that we see, or like even the readings that I do, those things are, in my opinion, they're very real, right? How I see things, and how when I read people, I see things within them that oftentimes they don't see within themselves, right? And so those things, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It's kind of the thing that I'm getting at. So keep that in mind during this time, guys. If there's an opportunity for you to dream, for you to think outside of the box, for you to trust your intuition over your logic, or maybe if it's fear-based thinking, fear, lack, go for it. Like, let go of the lack and think about the dream during this time, and then just put it out there and feel that, right? We were looking at that stone from this week, the underpinning energy of the stone, the grounding stone. What we're supposed to be grounding in this week is this idea of creation. What are we creating? And there's been some interesting stones to follow each day. If you've watched the daily readings, one was truth, which was like, what is our truest form of what is it that we need? What is it that we want? What is it that we desire? Right? Then we had sharing, sharing that truth with ourselves, sharing our truth with others, sharing our truth with the universe, however you want to see it. Yesterday's stone was energy. Is our energy set at a place of compassion? Is it set at a place of love? Is it set at a place of possibility? Because all of that is going to utilize this Piscean energy to bring about some probably profound and magical changes that we don't even think is possible, right? I mean, but that's Pisces for you, right? That's what's sort of, and I'm not just touting Pisces because I am one, and there is a sense of magic, connection, and beauty to Pisces that is oftentimes underestimated or not understood. And I just want to express that right now we can tap into that for all of us in our own individual ways. Okay, so let's look at these cards and see what's going on. Also, I will say this too, the underpinning energy, now that we're at Wednesday in this new moon, it was the 10 of Cups, which is very much a water sign card, and it's abundance card in water, right? The cups, it represents water. So underpinning whatever cards we look at today, we should have the energy of that 10 of Cups going on. So thinking about emotional sort of abundance, love, compassion, connection, all of that should be sort of happening in the background of the 10 of Swords. All right. So I'm going to say this. First off, I like the 2 10s energy right out of the gate. We've got the 10 of Cups underpinning. We have the 10 of Swords as like sort of the thought of the day or the energy of the day. Now, the 10 of Swords to me is one of the most graphic images in any tarot deck. I don't necessarily find it to be pleasant. 10s in general are about completions of cycles, not only for ourselves, but for like the entirety of the situation, right? We're closing the book, or we are ending the chapter, where we're coming to an end and starting new by going back through the ace and up through the 9 cards again, right? So the concept behind the 10 of Swords is the air element, the element of logic, our brain, our mind. Now, when I look at this and I think about the cards that we've seen this week, it just makes me think, is there something we've been overthinking? Are we thinking ourselves to death? Are we ready to just be done with it? Because this guy is done. He's toast. And that's usually a good thing with the 10 of Swords, right? It's like, yes, he's been defeated, but it's like in that defeat dawns a new day. Dawns a new way of thinking. Like, stop whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's like self-judgment or harassment or, thinking about what the other person did to you or how they wronged you. Like, now is the time to sort of be free of that, be defeated by it, let it go, stop mulling it over. Because the 9 of Swords is oftentimes about nightmares, being overly focused on something that's very negative. The 10 of Swords is just like, fuck this. Put a fork in me, I'm done. Or a knife in me, put a sword in me, I'm done, right? And the thing is that the beauty here is that it is about a completion. It's about ending a pattern of thought that is no longer working for us. And this pattern of thought is maybe what has been our creation point up until now, right? And I say that because this week's stone is about creating. What are we creating? Are we creating more misery by staying stuck in the misery and only focusing on the misery? And the reason why I say that is because we have the 10 of Swords, which is very much at the front of our brain in our analyzer, like analyzing everything. Is this safe? Are they right? Are they lying? Is this true? Should I do this? I don't know. I'm in fear, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that is for you, right? Each one of you is experiencing it differently, but it's a pain in the ass. This 10 of Swords says, you're tired. You can't go on anymore with this going this way, or else you gotta let it go. And the beauty about this deck is that I love that angel up above, right? She kind of reminds me of yesterday's Temperance angel. She's still here to help us, right? Spirit is still here to help us. That angel could represent our own higher self even, just kind of watching over us going, okay, Bob, how long are you going to torture yourself with this? We've done this like a million times over in a million different situations. It's time to let it go. And underneath that let go of the mentality of it, or the logic of it, or the overthinking of it, the mental obsession even in a way, right? We're coming to an end of that mental obsession. Underneath that is the beauty of the 10 of Cups, which is the emotional release, which is the renewal of maybe joy, possibility, and that's at an emotional level, right? When we let go of these negative thoughts, or when we let go of these past wrongdoings, or, I'm just going to use myself as an example. I have relationships in my life where I have been hurt. I've been hurt, significantly, let's just say that. But as an adult male, and it doesn't matter that I'm male or female, I just say as an adult male, as an adult at my age, right? I should say this. As an adult at my age, it's really kind of my responsibility how I choose to move forward in my life, whether or not I continue to revisit those pains and allow those pains to dictate the choices I make in my life. And right now, I'm being challenged in ways around that, personally. I'll just say that. So I can kind of understand a little bit about what this message is as far as for me personally. Right? I can see where this message would fall in my life, but I also think that it can fall in many others' lives too, because oftentimes we can be our own worst critic. We can be stuck in the past, or stuck in what went wrong, or how we've screwed up, or, I have just as much of a tendency to do that as the next person. Just because I'm reading cards doesn't mean that I'm, any more adept at letting go of some areas where I felt like I was wronged. But this card speaks today of maybe actually doing that, coming to that completion, being defeated by it, letting it go. And just, if you have to die on the vine in a way, and I mean that metaphorically, then let it die on the vine. Let it stay where it belongs, because there's a new dawn coming. Jupiter and Pisces, all this Pisces energy, the new moon, there's a new dawn coming. There's a new day. There's a new opportunity for us. And that also is showing in the 10 of Cups. So we get a choice today. We get to, let this one go, or a couple. It could be a couple of swords in our back that we need to sort of release and drop down and let go. And move towards what is awaiting us, what is new, what we can create, what is out there for us, what is our truth. So let's see what the Sacred Destiny Oracle has to say. And this deck is just giving me all kinds of life. Love! I am in love with this deck. Okay. So love is a beautiful energy, right? Obviously, love is something that we would want to give this poor man with all the swords in his back, right? Love is that 10 of Cups that underpins this. We have a choice today. We can be critical or we can be loving, right? Love is the Temperance card that we had yesterday, right? Of being open. We're not love just yet, but this is about blooming, growing. A new dawn has sprung. This is spring coming, right? This is the beauty of the world around you. Right? And taking notice of that, not being stuck in the remnants of the past or the fears of the future. Those swords in his back could be our own future fears that we have no real control over, other than whatever we're projecting right now in our present moment. And if we're projecting love, we stand a better chance of creating that with which we want, rather than projecting fear of outcomes, because oftentimes we don't realize what great creators we are, and in that fear we actually create the very outcome we were attempting to try and avoid, because we were giving it so much focus and so much attention in our mind, logic, right, with all of these swords, that we kind of killed it in fear of it showing up. We almost called it to our doorstep, and I've done that 1,000,001 times in my lifetime. And I still sometimes can continue to do it. And right now I'm actively fighting, trying not to do that to myself. So I feel like these cards also speak to me personally at a personal level, but I also feel like this is definitely a consciousness or collective reading that anybody can use. There's an opportunity here to focus more on not what once was or what could be, but to be focused again in this energy of love, possibility, growth, beauty, all of that. Does that make sense? And yesterday's grounding stone was that stone which was on malachite, which is the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, which is the love chakra, right? Where our love comes from, or where we can emanate really true love. And the word was energy. So if we're operating from that place even more so today, that love should be turned upon ourselves, and it should be given to ourselves, so that we can reach the full and total benefits of that positivity. Okay, here is the grounding stone to ground in today. This is a principle that we want to ground in as we're doing this work, as we're shifting our thoughts to a place of emotional abundance and a place of shifting our focus towards love and compassion. The grounding stone is success. We want to ground in the idea that no matter what's happened in the past or what could be coming in the future, that you can be successful. That even in the, how do I want to say this? Even in the slight perceptual awareness that it's possible to free yourself from some of the trappings that maybe you've been in mentally over the past series of time, whether it's for some of you months, some of you years, some of you a lifetime, that even this idea of shifting towards this space of love, shifting towards this 10 of Cups, allowing that to bubble forth, that in and of itself is a small success, right? We ground in that success. We continue to stay in the idea of, I want to be successful. I want to move towards that. We find ourselves focusing on that rather than that which is stabbing us in the back, right? Or causing us pain. And that brings us more love and more success. Do you see how that works and builds and sort of grows in essence, right? And we want that growth. We want that growth. And right now with the 10 of Cups underneath it and all this Piscean energy, now's the time to believe, bitches. Like, now is the time to make it happen. Open your hearts, open your minds, open your spirits, be a little vulnerable to yourself only, maybe. You don't have to be vulnerable to everybody else. Just be vulnerable to yourself and ask yourself, have these dialogues. What does success look like to you? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'm going to leave you guys there for that. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in tomorrow's reading. These cards are really giving me life this month. Maybe it's just because it's my season. But please tune in tomorrow. Hit that like button, the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video out. Leave me a question or comment. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.